Hi, in this video you are going to learn different viewport shading modes. So the first of all, you can see every viewport has its own menu and menu icons, and it's identical. You can see the perspective has the same view style, view menus and view icons, and each of view has that. So these are because these options are only going to adjust this perspective view, and like so on and so forth. So let's first see this difference here. You can see the perspective looks different than the front view. It looks like real 3D. Here it just looks like a drawing or blue lines, because those are in different shading modes. If you go to shading menu, and you can see this is active, smooth shade all option is on by looking at this white circle. And if you go to the same menu in this view, and you can see the wireframe mode is active, that means this is in wireframe mode, this is in shading mode. Okay, so again you can go to the wireframe mode from here, from this menu, but this is not like easy to come again and again here to change it. For that we have some options here, so we can switch between these two here. This is wireframe and this is shaded mode. Okay, easy to switch. Even better than this, there are some shortcuts which I use, or most of the artists use, which is 4 for wireframe and 5 for shading. 4 wireframe, 5 shading. Okay, so these two modes we constantly switch between while we are like modeling. Let's say you want to see the background image, you have put some image there, so when you are in shading mode you cannot see the background, right? You might change to wireframe and see it and adjust your model. Again you come back to shading mode, so you'll find yourself like switching between wireframe to shading a lot. So 4 and 5 is the quickest way to switch between, or you can use these icons. Okay, then the third mode is wireframe on shaded. So there is a mode called wireframe on shaded. So you will see the shading and wireframe would be on top. So that's there inside shading menu. You can see this wireframe on shaded option here. For this you don't have any shortcut. You need to come here and like click here. Sometimes we like set this mode to see our model, at the same time to see the edge flow, okay, and the density, or you can say when it's turned off you cannot really tell how many polygons or lines are there unless you select it. Okay, so that's the best way to like check that, or some other purpose are there as well. So this is wireframe on shaded mode. So for that, the easiest way is this option, this fourth option from this family. This fourth option is the wireframe on shaded. You can see my shaded is still turned on, but when I go to wireframe it switches between these two, but I can again turn on off with this one. Then the next option is the texture mode. So now we don't have any texture to our model, so we are not going to see any difference, but the texture mode is there, and that's here inside this shading menu and this hardware texturing option, and the shortcut is 6. So if you press 6 you can see this option is turned on now, this checker kind of circle option. So if you have any texture, let's put some texture quickly. So let's right click on the object and hold your right mouse button, go to assign favorite material, choose Lambert here. So don't worry what I'm doing here, I'm just going to show you the texture, and just you'll get this option here. Just click on the color right checker here, just follow this color line here and click on this checker box. You'll get this, and click any of, let's say this one, checker. Now you can see the texture, we have applied some texture. Let's turn off this wireframe. If I go to 4, which is wireframe mode, you can see the shaded mode doesn't show any texture. When you press 6 or you turn on this option, you can see the texture if you are using any texture on the object. If you you are not using any texture, it doesn't show anything, it shows like the shading menu. Okay, then the last one is lighting, and again that's inside lighting tab here, and you can see this use all lights and the shortcut is 7. When I press 7, it turns black because we don't have any lights here in our scene. So in the shading mode, you can see this object because of a by default light, but when you press 7, this is actually lights mode. Maya requires your actually light, so we don't have any lights here. If I go to create menu and go to lights, I can create lights from here. So let's create point light, and let's take this move tool and move this by holding these lines, these arrows. You can see now if I press 4, 5 shading, 6 texture and 7 lighting. Okay, so 4, 5, 6, 7, there are four shortcuts we use most, so please remember those and practice those. So in the next lesson we are going to see object creation techniques and how to use their inputs. Okay, so I'll see you there.